On Zoom, recording in progress. Welcome everybody on Zoom, welcome everybody on the room. So we're delighted to be able to listen to the wonderful Holaday Mason this evening. Holaday is a poet, photographer, a psychotherapist. She's a person of many talents. She's been described as one of the mainstays of Los Angeles poetry, and certainly having heard her many times, having heard her read many times, I can confirm that that is the case. So I'm delighted to welcome her. She's reading from a soon-to-be-published book and others, but a soon-to-be-published book which is entitled We're a Long Time Dead. So true dat, huh? But she will be reading other work as well. Holaday, I'm really pleased to see you again, firstly, after such a long time.
Yes.
And welcome. We're delighted to have you here. Thank you. If everybody else would mute themselves on Zoom, and quiet in the room, and away she goes. Thank you.
Zoom readings. Hi, everybody in the room. Hi, everybody on Zoom. Unintended rhyme. Hi there. I'm going to read just a couple of poems from my last collection. Can you hear me, Ken? Everybody?
Yeah.
If you can't hear me, just...
We can hear you loud and clear. It's great. Thank you.
Okay, great. I like to start with poems I'm pretty comfortable with reading, and then I'm going to move into this new manuscript, which I really haven't read from. So I'm downright nervous, I would say. So let me just get going. It's like, starting on a road trip, right? And from the Weaver's Body, Paris, Day 2. Someone is, we've got Los Angeles helicopters now. Okay. Someone is cooing a turtle dove of morning through the walls, and bathwater streams too as motorcycles blur into the echoes of the city, and faces in profile stroll past the wrought iron scrolls at my window beyond the vase of hot raspberry peonies lit in the flashes of waking sunlight that fall across the table. I had not expected sex or had forgotten my body, and it's for sure a woman's sound, open as the splayed wings of an ivory bird. An hour ago, I watched a boy with smudged, oval-taped glasses stare, mouth ajar, at the tall-legged saxophone players in the market. New love burst in him this morning, while the cut flowers wagged in their buckets of early summer. My heart stopped again and began again, something pure fuchsia whipping like a strip of lightning, and how I will miss this world in my mouth like the taste of honey at the end. If I could just get it all in, just keep singing with the indigo dawn, waking forever, while farmers sell red peppers, cherries, apples, storm, red as the breast of the bird who flew into my room last night, before the wind raised its voice, before the thunder opened me, and a white hail covered my bed, speaking of the future, whispering again, most certainly sun, most certainly rain. And then just one more from this, because I forgot to start my timer. So hell's bells. Here, hang on. I'm just gonna start now, and we'll lop 3 minutes off. the night of arrival and departure. I cannot see my feet crushing spent dandelions, pale spheres of what is before me. Trust, 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 this long old night lawn. This is the world before woodpecker wakes to its hardy work, and on the other side, the Holy Spirit is in my orange marmalade, my raisin buttered toast. Perhaps this constant sadness is my boat, simple really. It reminds me of everyone in the world. The clover is wet, and were it dawn, would be a fire of tiny lanterns. We all have to keep on living, you know. I'm going to shift over. Thanks, everybody. Pretty hands, like birds. To the new manuscript. And as you can see, it's in those end stages before it goes to the publisher. The book is called We Were a Long Time Dead, which is taken from a Scottish proverb. And the proverb is, live your life now. Ellipsis. The book is comprised of a core poem and an erasure. So I'll be reading the core poem, and then I saw Forrest Gander do this. He has a rock and he goes, eeks. If that's too loud, let me know. Or I'll just hit the table, and that will be a demarcation between the core poem, and then there's an erasure taken from that core poem. So that is the conceit of the manuscript. I'll start with a poem called, and the book is basically love poems for the elderly. Because as you'll see, that happened to me. And it was very surprising. I was not expecting that. So the first poem is called Bedtime Stories. The body beneath me is a bellows, a train. The hymn of our instruments strike the air, our limbs, a nexus of lightning. Fluffing the pillows into a street carnival, we travel from our old selves, carrying just the essentials. I open, he opens me more. The oil of laughter melts the webs around our eyes. It dampens our hair. It turns us more naked. We hold each other up to the native light. We are so transparent, so huge. Should we be able to see so much? We hold just the essentials, our limbs more naked. I open the hymns. We are a train of lightning. Laughter melts the webs. Ancient is always. Look how my hands are steady. No shake yet, no tremor. The day arrives, reads the abacus. The days behind are pentamente. We are always almost old until we are in our personal, transparent homes of skin, the shared hydrangea bed where I count your vertebra as if casting oracle runes, running my fingers over ancestral land masses of yarrow goldenrod, where once you were a bearded god, a giant groundswell, my fighting companion with unassailable, perfect teeth and baritone growls. But now my gait, slower with my black oak cane, ensures I won't bellow, won't win this always war. Neither will you. Nobody does. We are imperfect in our skin. My hands are a giant groundswell, steady, I count. I run my fingers over oracles. I protect this. Tiptoeing past the graveyard. When you lay your head between my breasts, you're always whistling, seeing only rosy mountains. Sometimes it's just a matter of momentum, skirting what can't bear close examination. Midsummer is behind us, a leaping wild fox. Go ahead and holler off key. My red lipstick dispels a lot. I too pray not to panic at the moment of death. We align ourselves with both horizons, like two jeweled birds who whip a filthy puddle into rainbow pinwheels. Come close to me, my love, close as you can. When you get here, I will make you something nice. Between both horizons, affection sees only my red lipstick. This next poem takes some lines from a note sent to me by Marcia de la O, who those of us in Southern California know and love, fantastic poet, wife of our dear Phil Taggart. She wrote me this note after my wedding. And so the title takes from that note and another line, which I'll try to remember to put into air quotes. A wounded god dressed in brocade. After 3 days, we entered the coastal mists, hunting wild poppies, lupin, fiddleneck with their sturdy rooster crowns crooked as if courting mysteries from the underworld. Oh, there's a word in here she uses, sylph, sorry. And it's a little spirit, and sometimes used to describe the male hummingbird. So it's a shadowy type spirit. I'll start with the drowning seeds. How's that? No, as if courting mysteries from the underworld. And yes, maybe some seeds drowned in rain so dense, even city birds had been too sodden to fling themselves from the rooftops. And yes, someone got sick, but not too badly. Someone got drunk, but was driven safely home. Some left handwritten notes on simple moments. He was a sylph, a stag, magnificent and vulnerable. Later, there was a thought to make love unseen under the drooping skirts of the saturated old oaks, chartreuse with brightened growth, where we could fold a timeline of history into a small burnished mementos, each begging to be touched just one last time before being mulched into a sonic cavalcade of bells, 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 bells. Weddings are just like that. The way we call to each other, the way we are answered. The coastal mists from the underworld fling themselves over the rooftops. Handwritten notes on simple moments brighten under skirts we call to each other. We are answered on magnificent bells, bells. I'm just checking on the time. I have a couple more minutes. I'm going to turn the tone a bit. If I can find the poem in here, it's quite a bit of a mess. Here we go. The book also concerns itself not just with our own temporality, but with the planets. This is called Orchard Elegy. Orchard Elegy. It references the runes, which are a Nordic oracle, and the rune of constraint actually has 2 lines, and what it really means is it's a tough situation. Basically, that's what it means. So. Orchard Elegy. The black corpses of the oldest almond trees in the great valley lie uprooted, hissing as they heave their sap. The farmland topsoil blown away ends the tumbled ballets of pink springtime almond blossoms. The rune of constraint has 2 lines, the same backward and forward. And there's no way out, no water, more blood, because like dry wind that ties the seasons in knots, we won't stop warring, won't stop screaming, like children who've not yet been taught never to step on the dead bees falling from the blind sky instead of rain. I could always hear the dead. I could always hear the screaming, hissing, screaming. Like dry wind, the constraint of no water won't stop. Instead of rain, blind eyes fall from the black corpses of the almond trees. I'm going to read 2 more poems, and I want to thank you all for being here today and for writing and for, I'm going to cry, just for doing the work of writing. Because, you know, we're poets. Mostly nobody ever hears it, and that's okay. We write to keep the spirit alive. And that's what we do. So I'm going to read 2 more poems, which really also have the erasures, and thank you again. Thank you, Cam. No one dreams we are on fire, alive and cold, wet grass, stones on our feet. We take up our journals of smoke. Another war because someone wants what others have. Snakes shimmer up my arms as I try by firelight to resume the exam in the face of so much gore. Someone wants to paint the stars black. None of us can correctly imagine what other lives are like. Even 3,000 miles away, the trees smell blood. They try to warn us. History stammers on the day, the date, the year. The last of the moon lies on her back, tethered helplessly to the sun. Our outlines smear each other into particles of dust. Your hands are made of every husband, clasped together. Our hands are made of everyone. The trees smell blood. The journals of smoke can imagine what other lives are like, tethered to the sun. History stammers onto the last of the moon. Your hands are made of the day, the date, the year, particles of dust. I'm just checking. You know, I think that's enough. I think that's plenty.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. And I have to hop off for a meeting because I'm on California time, but not for a while. So I want to hear. I know you guys are going to read. Yeah.
I mean, I hear you say that that's enough, but I'd like to say, well, we'll be the judge of that because, I'm not sure it is, but thank you.
Thank you.
I just want
Ken.
to say, Holaday, it's wonderful to see you again. It's wonderful to hear you again. And thank you so much for agreeing to read to us. And we're enriched by hearing you. So thank you so much.
Thank you all. I'm going to stay and listen. And then when I have to have my meeting, I'm jumping off.
For those of you who would like to either get some of Holiday's previous works and buy those and wait for, I believe next year you're hoping for publication, right?
It'll be out in October next year. So
Okay.
I'm just getting used to the words in my mouth and cutting. Oh, I used that word too many times. No, do that.
No. Enough. So if you go to her website, holidaymason.com, and remember that Holaday is spelled Holaday, holidaymason.com, and you'll be able to see all of her current books available for purchase. So I hope that you will go there in your droves and buy them. Go on.
Amazon, you can find them too if you believe in that.
Find them everywhere.
We're all prisoners.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
So look, thank you. And what we're going to take a couple of minutes break here because we're in a cafe and they need to sell stuff. So we need to send everybody in here, out there and buy things and then come back and we'll carry on. So if you just wait maybe 3 minutes while people run out, replenish whatever they need to replenish, and then we will read. Now, I'm assuming, and tell me if I'm wrong, that everybody on Zoom has something to read. So I've written you down as readers, all of you. Phil, yeah. Jen, yeah. Lou, thank you. I'm assuming you all are. So just tell me if you're not. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Loved your reading, Holaday.
Thank you, Phil.
Holaday, that was magnificent. I just absolutely adore the line about counting my vertebrae like runes. That's fantastic. And that last poem, oh my God. Is there any way you can send me a copy of that? Because oh my God, I have deep love for that.
Jennifer, shoot me an email and then I'll have that in my head.
Okay.
Yeah, just shoot me an email.
Much.
Okay. Yeah, great. My pleasure. Thank you for listening. It's an honor to have somebody actually listen,
It's such a joy. The painting the stars black. Oh my God.
Thank you.
So beautiful, Holaday. I'm so
you.
excited for this book to come out.
It'll be fun. It'll be good.
Holaday, I love the concept of love letters as one gets older. That's just a very lovely thing.
Good. Thank you. It's just what came, You write what you get. Or at least I do. Look forward to hearing you guys. Peg Quinn, will you be reading a little? Can't hear you.
I muted myself. Yes, I have a short poem.
Good. I have about 50 minutes, so I think I'll be able to hear a lot.
So Holaday, did you literally get married recently, or was that a metaphor?
No, I literally got married.
Congratulations.
You got a little ring made from the diamonds from my first wedding.
Yes, right.
I said, oh, what the hell? We took all the heirlooms that no one is ever going to use, that don't go anywhere to anybody, and just right? Reusing.
Love your poetry, Holiday.
Thank you so much. Is that Eugene?
That's me, Jean.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
It reminded me, I don't know if you know Mary Ruffo, but one of her earlier books,
I sure do. Mhm.
little tiny book of erasures. It reminded-
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
She's known for erasures, and that's great. This just kind of came. I kind of like some of the erasures better than the core poems. I'm not supposed to say that, but it's maybe a little faithless to my children. All right, Phil, I see you going, no, don't say that.
But the
Right.
truth is you can't have one without the other.
No, they really do need each other to talk to each other. That I saw that. I thought, okay, do I do a book just of erasures? But they weren't going to work. But thank you, Jean.
Really. Yeah. For you, Peg? How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Weather's nice here.
Oh,
Had a long therapy session with my sister.
oh, yeah? How is she?
Probably wouldn't want me to say under the circumstances.
Bill, how did your heel survive?
It did pretty well.
Yeah.
I didn't do long walks. I'm actually doing a lot better now. I don't have to use the cane as much,
That's
which
great.
is nice. I walked a lot.
That is big. That is great progress. One who's suffering from the same thing.
Oh, good. You're all unfrozen again. I figured, okay, everyone is frozen. That means I'm the one who's frozen.
And you're doing tomorrow night, right? The E.P. Foster.
Oh yeah, we're back. Thursday is back. Thursday is
I'm
back.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. See if I remember anything.
Remember the pardon phrase, right?
One poem, no epics, Phil.
I'll do my best. this Sunday.
How are you, Jennifer?
Right, everybody. Hi. Okay. So hello in the room. Hello on Zoom. Back again. Here we go. So we're hitting up the open mic. Reminder, I hope all of you on Zoom, please mute unless I ask you to unmute yourself. We've got more readers in the room than we have on Zoom. So we're going to start from inside the room. And we're going to start with Chris. Hello, Chris. Chris, wake up. See, I wake these, they nod off, you know. Here he is.
Thank you very much, Cam. Usually what I've read before have been quite personal. The last time I wrote about a dog and a cat. Today it's quite light again, and I've called it The Mouse in the House. I'm happy here, the small mouse said, peering through the open door. I've oats to eat and milk to drink. Then she scurried across the floor. I live in a corner of the house, in the kitchen, out of sight, with a window just above it, letting in the light. On the floor, a sand tray for the use of Tom the cat. For a mouse small like me, it's Brighton Beach. Now, what do you think of that? Some people think a cat and a mouse don't just get along. Well, some don't, but for Tom and me, that's completely wrong. Tom's owners, Nellie and Bill, well, they love Tom, just like their child. But they've never seen him running around outside completely wild. Oh, indoors, he's shy, quiet, like a great big mouse. But when he's there outside, right outside the house, he's a giant cat, a lion, roaring and scratching his claws, ready to grip anything with his vice-like jaws. So, Tom and me are quite different, just like chalk and cheese. Anyway, in size and shape and temperament, even the way we sneeze. Now, human beings could learn from us, learn to get along. Know that they're all really different. They all sing a different song. They all have their narrow squeaks and they're in perfect ways. They just need to be who they are and in diversity together enjoy their days. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. Okay, next up, we'll stay in the room and I'd like to welcome and invite Joan.
I chose to read this particular poem today because it's called Slow Worm, and I've had a couple of encounters with slow worms. Okay. I've had a couple of encounters with slow worms recently. Rescued one from my cat this morning, and my gardener the other day told me how much she hated them, and I'm rather fond of them. And this poem is ostensibly about a slow worm, but it's also about loss, about how you lose somebody, and every now and again something reminds you, something strange reminds you of them. And this slow worms reminds me of my mother. Slow worm. I would not have noticed, but hose spray caught the light, silvered its smooth skin as it circled itself in the dying afternoon warmth. A little disturbed, but taking its time, it uncoiled elegantly, slipped into the damp darkness of its sanctuary under the shed. Slow worm. One of my garden friends. I've missed them. I should have known they were back. Absence of slimy pests, proof enough. But they work so silently, I did not notice. A memory thread unspooled. The first time there was a nest in a disorderly compost heap, apprehensively uncovered. But you knew not to be wary, delighted by the intricate knot of kin. All nature spoke family to you. We watched out for them then, upset when mower caught and the cat teased, pleased by the rare glimpse of them at work, the knot snakes snaking through the green and dank of the herbaceous border, our very own eco-warriors. So I really wanted to tell you they were back, but I had to tell your photograph instead.
Lovely, Joan. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to have one more in the room, then we'll go online. So, Nigel, please.
Yay.
Hello. I've never read at the Zoom meeting before. I usually read on the first Wednesday in the month and read my own stuff. But I found a poem by someone else that I want to share with everyone here and everywhere else for reasons that will become apparent. There also seems to be a bit of a theme emerging of lessons from the animal world, and this will continue that as well. It's by Thomas Hardy, and it's called Wagtail and Baby. A baby watched a ford whereto a wagtail came for drinking. A blaring bull went wading through. The wagtail showed no shrinking. A stallion splashed his way across, the birdie nearly sinking. He gave his plumes a twitch and toss and held his own unblinking. Next saw the baby round the spot, a mongrel slowly slinking. The wagtail gazed but faltered not, in dip and sip and prinking. A perfect gentleman then neared, the wagtail in a winking, with terror rose and disappeared. The baby fell a-thinking.
Thank you, Nigel. And lest that's lost on some of you on Zoom, we are in fact in a coffee house called Wagtail Coffee and Yoga. So we have an empathy, if you like, with the wagtail. So I'd like to go online now, and I'd like to invite Lou to unmute herself and read for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, this is, I suppose, for any insomniacs here this evening. It's called Nocturne. Night. Sometimes I'd like to unpick the thick black blanket of you, to yang the yin in you. Unflap the bat and morning star you. Dawn, chorus, cock crow and lark song you. Or deprive the vampire who craves you. Steal shadow from the thief who thrives in you. Unfeature the creatures that prowl you. Peace the wolf that howls you. Unhoot the owl and blue moon you. Untick the clock in the 2 a.m. of you. Unfox equinox and summertime solstice you. War and peace and day shift rota you. Light the moth away from the murk of you. Unregale the nightingale airing and trilling you. Oh, grant him a mate for heaven's sake. Overthink and un-Freudian dream you. And right now, fast forward you.
Wonderful stuff, Lou. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going back in the room, and I'm going to invite to the microphone Piers.
Standing in the right place. No. I'm going to read you a poem about Celia. It's the second of a whole series of poems. Celia is a novel I'm working on at the moment. She's also a short story. She's the daughter of a sea captain. She's got a very loud voice, and she's got one green eye and one blue eye. You don't need to know that. And this is a very short bit from the first chapter, but it's turned into narrative prose poetry. Denise was pregnant, only a few weeks, but definitely pregnant. We were close, but she never told me. I found out later. She and I had discussed the pill and other methods. The pill made her fat, she said. She put her trust in the rhythm method. What's that? I had to ask, and she had to explain. The day came when she told Martin she'd missed her period. We'll get married, said Martin. No, said Denise. My plans do not include you and a baby. Thank you.
I guess you're just going to have to tune in a bit more regularly to hear the rest of that tale. Some of us already know how it ends. Okay, I think we're going to go back online, and Peg, please join us from Nebraska.
Thank you very much. I have a poem in one sentence. It's titled Raise a Glass. To the perfectly groomed couple in cowboy hats, perched on...
Peg, hang on just 1 second. Mike is doing something technical.
Okay.
Tell me when you're okay to go. You're a bit low on volume.
Can I turn up my...
Okay, it's us. Apparently it's us. So hang on. We'll be with you just testing 1, 2, 3. Peg.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did I go?
Yes. Okay, take it away.
Okay, so this is a poem in one sentence. Raise a glass. To the perfectly groomed couple in cowboy hats, perched on bar stools, drunk on their ass, watching their middle-aged transgender son or daughter singing karaoke, I applaud you. Thank you.
You know what? That was so worth waiting for. I'm glad we got the sound right. Thank you, Peg. Thank you. Now I'm coming back into the room, going to invite John to come up to the mic.
Get my glasses on to approach it. I just need to read. Yeah. Okay, well, I've got a long-standing project, outstanding, writing a novel, which is going to be loosely based on an autobiography, but which is going to be suffused with life philosophy and poetry. And by life philosophy, I actually mean trying to drill down into some of the deeper meanings of life, as opposed to abstract mental gymnastics by philosophers like Kant, who nobody still understands, donkey's years after he actually wrote his books. So I've got a poem here, which I think I dug out of the novel, which has kind of gone into a slight stall mode because I only moved here a year ago. So I've been somewhat distracted by other events. Anyway, here goes. Here's a poem. The poem's called To Be a Man. When you are a man, my son, you may wonder at your life to come, at the journey just begun. What will be your road to follow? Will your path lead to joy or sorrow? Listen to your inner voice. Head or heart, make a choice. Live your life to the utmost and cherish every milestone passed. Share your love with all you meet. Do not fear, stay upbeat. Learn to love and learn to cry. Learn to live and learn to die. Then you'll be a man, my son. Then you'll be a man.
Thank you, John. Thank you. So I was going to stay in the room and again, welcome and listen to Anna. Thank you. Not you.
Right, yeah, about the right height. This is going back to our animal theme. So it's one that I wrote some years ago when my ex-partner decided to retire to Costa Rica. So it's a nasty little poem.
We like this.
And it's called I Call the Dog. Nobody understands why I make visits to my ex. All that way, all that money spent on someone who never did deserve it. Friends think, oh, she's so forgiving, so good-hearted. And it is true that I wouldn't want to see him die alone in a foreign country. But there's more to it than that. I go for moments when I turn to smile and catch him worried and unnerved by my continuing niceness. For moments when his eyes fear that I will tell our daughter, even now, where the bodies are buried. For moments when his friends say, oh, she's so lovely, and how come you two ever split up? For moments when his dog leaps joyously to greet me and his jaw hardens. I have sucked your power away now, and I can afford to be magnanimous. I call the dog. She comes.
Nice. Okay, we're going back online, and I'm going to invite Jean, please, to unmute yourself and join us.
Sorry, a little slow on the draw. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna sort of pick up Holiday's theme of death and life. This is the last section of a volume written all in haikus. It's about different graveyards. And this last section is about my daughter and me. When the stars emerge, what poems might remain in eternity's graveyard? Deep in the pockets of love, there is a daughter who is cherished by many. She is love itself, a soul stretching every edge of the universe. This new thread appears without effort. Even the skeletons sense it. How does she do it? This boundless caring? More than I can imagine. Her laughter comes easy as tears, bounces through each level between. Such divine moments these are, to be steeped in love's annunciations. If there's a forever kind of mother-daughter love, may we share it. O sky, displaying two rays crossing the sun, a kiss of loving, loved.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to come back in the room and invite Barry, please.
It's funny how you always know when your turn is coming, isn't it? It kind of ripples through the ecosphere. Now, make sure I'm not hiding my face behind the book. All being well, this poem should be in my next collection, Reeling and Writhing, which is due out, fingers crossed, in October. It spins off of my time spent, or maybe misspent, in theatre. Waiting in the wings. Beginners, please. The stage manager's urgent summons calls us from the green room to a state of readiness in our allotted places, upstage right and downstage left, waiting for that line or musical phrase, our cue to enter, bringing the latest news, setting in action that spiral of events, that careless interruption or unfortunate complication, resulting in accusations, shouts, shots, or laughter. Until then, we wait with decisions taken from us, our deterministic universe fixed in the rehearsal room, offering only the illusion of alternative possibilities. This state of limbo is a world unto itself. We spend our time patiently listening or impatiently pacing up and down according to our mood or our nature. Vivian is a method actor, deep in the interior world of our present character, her body shaped by the text. That moment of loss in her childhood, traced in the angle of chin or elbows. She'll not see you there or hear you whisper unless you remind her of her father. Tony retreats to the gents and chants in the stalls, lubricating his vowels, me, 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 me. Susie and Andrew are lost in their mirrors with eyeliners, latex and powder. Richard watches wide-eyed, learning the ropes and tropes. Mark is plotting jokes when you discover his body later in Act 3, sprawled on the carpet upstage and unseen by the audience. He'll roll his eyes and stick out his tongue, the laughing corpse to make you corpse. Rowan is bitching and dissing the crew. Michael is leaning in and chatting up the girls, his fingers lightly brushing hair or patting bums. And then there are the crafty smokers, pacing the corridors and reciting their lines, nervous energy splattering like steam on the walls. And so each actor plays their part until the last syllable of recorded script, when the lights dim for the curtain call, preferably well before closing time in the bar. Last orders, please. It's
great. Thank you, Barry. Love that. Okay, now, still in the room, she's broken a finger and she says, if you listen to this, you'll understand. So, Roz.
Make sure I don't trip over any wires. So I had the great joy of going to a 60th birthday party at the weekend. It was glamping and camping and discos every night until 2. Is that okay? And I wrote this poem for that because I was reflecting on the whole party process and my own parents. So this is called Dancing. When I was a young taste police bore, I'd smirk at the jerk and wiggle of an aging butt. My mum's, as she gurned and grinned on the dance floor. She was Isadora or Salome, seductively winking, kissing the air, hands shimmering as she removed an invisible veil from long brown hair, drawing it across her lips and down her, there's no polite way of saying this, ample hips around her gargantuan bum. I should have kept stum. Or my dad, who thought he was Chubby Checker, or Paul, or John, who'd twist and slide, mashed potato glide, the submarine swim of his hands just so, flapping like butterfly wings, swinging like clappers, let loose, his sad pony more like boxer sent to the knackers. What a prig I was looking on as they dug the air from 5 to 59, I'd snigger and stare. I'm still a taste police bore. The Gen Z critical voice inside my head so strong. Nothing worse than a bunch of boomers dancing, so cringe. Well, that's wrong. And fuck that. So what if the joints creak, or if I'm off beat with 3 left feet, or I take a fall drunk, or having taken a pill, or not drunk, sliding down Harting Hill? It comes to us all the day we know we are dancing like our dads did. But we don't care as we hit the groove in our heart, shake our hips, at least 2 fake ones, and realise we don't look cool, except for one amongst us, a preening fool. I'm looking at you.
Thanks, Rose. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back online and welcome back. I haven't seen him for a long time. Phil, welcome.
Unmute. Okay, there I am. Hello, good to see you guys. Yeah, this is called a pink moon, and it's an epigraph by Christopher Thill from Here in Heaven. With a hammer and nails and a fear of failure, we are building a shed. On the 101, heading home, driving towards a pink moon. Quicksilver fills my heart. Words from a community of angels transcend a bickering magic we pull together. Went to Tommy's yesterday. Grease burger, chili cheese, the usual. Started in high school, Beverly and Rampart, lines past midnight. Stand outside, tables attached to walls. Somehow this becomes a habit, not my worst. Now ask for the senior discount. Have slowed down enough to see the moon, the pink ones, wow. Once I knew things, but knowledge has changed. Ricky, your long, straight brown hair, brown eyes, haunted, wary, always thin, except when the drugs plumped you up. Wonder what happened to your plaster horned toad. Now we're both bald at Tommy's a few days before you died. You couldn't eat. Next day, drove you to hospice. Goodbye. Now you and the moon stay with me. Looks like the on-ramp to the 126 is also the on-ramp to a pink moon. Thank you.
Wow. That's great, Phil. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to come back in the room and invite Jill. Where are you? There you are. Jill.
Hi, those of you who were last time I read might know that I got involved in something where I'd walked into a philosophical problem. And funnily enough, that similar thing happened to one of my friends, and I wrote home about it. My friend Carol told me of the strange case of her husband, Mac. One night as they prepared for bed, she saw his toe was going black. She said, see a chiropodist, but he did nothing, and quite soon he was in pain, could hardly move. His toe swelled up like a balloon. The doctor took a look and said, we'll have to amputate that toe. The NHS waiting list is long, but if you have the cash, then you can go. The private clinic seemed okay, but they should have seen the sign when the surgeon came to do the job. His name was Dr. Frankenstein. The phone rang early the next day. It was only 6 o'clock. Could Carol come to the hospital and be prepared for a shock? The wrong operation had been done. He'd not removed Mac's toe. Instead, he'd removed Mac's brain completely and put it in someone else's head. She asked, "What of poor Mac's body? Is it empty, cold and dead?" "Oh no," they said, "the brains were swapped. The other brain is in that head." Carol said, "It's just not good enough after all the money we've paid. Whose body is his brain now in?" They said, "Boris Johnson's, I'm afraid." When Carol had recovered, they apologised for the mistake and said, "Now take your husband home." But which one should she take? Faced with a decision, she was not sure what to do. Was it Mac's brain or his body that she was married to? She thought she would still like to see Mac's body in his comfy chair, but Boris's brain would be inside, blustering, lying, talking hot air. She supposed the one that was her spouse had Mac's memories in his head, but with the face of Boris Johnson, how could she let him in her bed? She thought of seeing Boris do all the things that Mac always did. Farting loudly, forgetting her birthday, leaving off the toothpaste lid. So she chose to divorce them both, and Mrs. Johnson did so too. They left them with Dr. Frankenstein and started single life anew. When I asked Carol how she felt, she said, "These things happen, I guess. But I've learned one important thing. It's always use the NHS."
Thanks, Jill. Boris Johnson, really. Okay, I'm going to go back online. Jen, please unmute yourself. Jen has left, so she won't unmute herself. So we're going to stay in the room and go with Roland. Okay, Roland has nothing to say, so that's not happening either. So we'll go to Anna.
Hello, is that about the right height? Am I good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Closer. Okay. Quite tall. Okay. Hi. So I'm going to pick up the earlier theme of animals. And this is a poem that I wrote when I was on a walk with my mum, and she actually wrote some of it too, so I can't take all the credit here. So credit to her as well. It's called Birdsong. Many more than I've noticed before. Do any of them really sound like tweets? From poetic whispers to angry shrieks, familiar and alien, known and unknown, meaning fleeting, flighting, a feather on the wind. Singers soaring, sighting, alighting, each instant a unique blend. The sound in the air, in the ear, resonant harmony, discordance, duet. The symphony means nothing, doesn't translate, and yet the melody is calming to me. Call and response, warning, joyful expression. Cacophony of requests, exclamations, directions, wash through me, sensations, scenes, colours and textures. Ever present, unless unaware. Ever present, unless your mind's present elsewhere.
Thanks, Anna. Staying in the room, we'll go with Mike, please.
Hello. I'm torn as to what to do, actually. I normally read my own. You want me to do it? Okay. I normally read my own writing, but I brought along a song, and I'm going to sort of sing it. You may have heard it before. So we've had a bit of a philosophy theme in places tonight. So you may have heard this before. Monty Python did it. It's called Bruce's Philosophy Song. And I just think it's very clever and quite funny. Right. Here goes nothing. The interesting thing as well is that I normally do drink, and for the last 2 weeks I'm not drinking. I'm still not drinking. So. Anyway. Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. Heidegger was a boozy beggar who could drink you on. I'll start again. He doesn't drink him under the table. He thinks him under the table. Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. Heidegger was a boozy beggar who could think you under the table. David Hume could outconsume William Friedrich Hegel. And Wittgenstein was a beery swine who was just as sloshed as Schlegel. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach you about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. John Stuart Mill, of his own free will, on half a pint of shandy was particularly ill. Plato, they say, could stick it away, half a crate of whiskey every day. Aristotle was a bugger for the bottle. Hobbes was fond of his dram. And René Descartes was a drunken fart. I drink, therefore I am. Yes, Socrates himself is particularly missed. A lovely little thinker, but a bugger when he's pissed.
Brilliant, Mike. Thanks. Online, please. Sue.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I'm sure you can. Yeah. Anyway, sorry not to be there in person today, but I wrote a poem for a friend of mine who was dying. He was a biker, and I thought I'd just read it here today. And it's called Riding the Rainbow. As we reach the end of our rainbow, will there be buckets of gold? Wait and see. Just know that at the end of that rainbow, it'll be a land that is completely pain-free. We'll be lighter than air and oh so happy, because all those that we love will be there. Well, in heaven, unlikely is perfectly possible. Yes, even those that we leave mourning here. We've climbed up the rainbow to the summit and can now gently glide down the other side. With our foot on the floor, just hear that wind roar. Accelerate, no helmet, just ride. We've touched many souls in our lifetime, left magic memories and songs in our wake. And when we get to the end of that rainbow, who knows what onward journey we'll take. But there'll be plenty of vroom, loads of sunshine. It will dapple bright paths through the trees. And just know that our direction is onwards as we ride and we rev through the breeze. So as we reach the bright end of the rainbow and expect gold, then gold there must be, for whatever we find will be golden to us. So be patient and just wait and see. Let's be patient, and one day we'll be free. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you online if you're not here, even if you're not here. Okay, so I think we've got to the end pretty much, unless there's anybody who needs to speak that hasn't. Otherwise, I'll read something. So before you all run away in your droves. Okay, I'm going to say something. It's called quantum noise. The spaces in between things contain more than you can know. The silence between phrases says more than volumes of disconnected words. It's what you didn't say that I heard the loudest. Seeing lines on a page is only part of the story, which mostly plays out between the lines in the white space. Atoms are mostly empty space. Space is mostly empty space, awash with quantum information, And my mind, though full of thoughts, is empty for all that, buzzing with the quantum noise and meaning. Okay.
I want to read my own.
Mike, see, he can't help himself, can he? Bless him.
I'm disappointed with the Monty Python. I think it should be done with a bigger audience. This one is called The Way of the Wind. Hush. I have something to say to you. Listen to me rush through the leaves, and I will remind you of what always was and is and will be. Hear me. Disappear on the wing, and you shall know the way is through and forever. Follow me, and I will sing as you, in the peal of heel to toe, as you walk unburdened to places yet unseen, leaving no trace as you go.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Holiday, thank you so much. Wonderful to see you. Thank you. All of you guys online, thank you very much for joining us. Be back in a month. So we hope to see you then. Just a few notes, which I think mainly pertain to people in the room. So my myriad apologies to you guys. There's a lot going on in August. So for us, for Words Out Loud. So on August the 2nd is our next open mic here at Wagtail. On August 14th, Monday, is the next Arts Junction at the Vic in Arundel.
In which Joan will be reading.
In which Joan will be reading. So even more reason to go, as if there were not enough reasons. August 16th is our next open mic and Zoom here with the amazing Janine Booth. Between the 19th and the 26th of August in Arundel is the Arundel Festival of the Arts. In fact, I think it goes before the 19th and finishes after the 26th, but that's about it, including a theatre trail in which Denny, who isn't here tonight, is directing one of the pieces. The 25th, 26th, and 27th of August, we, Words Out Loud, are invited to be part of the Victorious Festival. It's mainly a music festival with lots of well-known people, Mumford & Sons, Jamiroquai, various other people well-known. But we, Words Out Loud, will be in the Literacy Live area. Many people in the room will be reading there, and many other people who you know will be reading there, so please try to be there. And although I'm talking about August, just please hold the date in September. Save the date, 21st of September, and the third Thursday, alternate months, we have what we're calling 7 Up, and it's a feature which includes 7 people performing 7 things of 7 minutes each slot. And it's going to be upstairs at Wildwood on South Street in Chichester from, I think, 7:30, from 7 o'clock, I think we said. But there will be pizza, there will be pasta, there will be drink, and there will be us. So be there. It's yet to be seen if, because on 7 Up, whether we're going to invite them to make 7 topping pizza, 7 inches for £7, but we're not sure about that. All right, look, wonderful to see you all. Holaday Mason, wonderful to see you. Everybody else online, thank you so much for joining. Everybody in the room, brilliant. Love you all. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.